Coffee 2000.
What's today's secret word?
Today's secret word is...
Now, you all remember what to do whenever anyone says a secret word, right? Scream! For the rest of the day, whenever anyone says a secret word, scream real loud. Ready? Let's try it.
And looking holistically at the connection between that and housing, and looking holistically at the incentives we in the federal government can create for local and state governments to actually engage in planning in a holistic manner.
Wowzers. Imagine it. 30 minutes is all this woman could talk, and that included 3+ commercial breaks. And every time she spoke, the odds of her winning the election this November went down. According when I was watching the betting odds go down and down. Kamala Harris went on a friendly network, MSNBC, interviewed with someone who is a vocal Kamala Harris supporter. And then after the interview, that reporter went on to absolutely shred her. The answers, if that's what you want to call them, that she gave to some of the most softball questions imaginable will boggle even the smartest mind. The most, even though if you can speak in tongues, you might probably not have any idea what this woman is talking about. Last night I live streamed it, and and it was bad. Let's take a look. By the way, thank you everyone for joining over on therecording.com/members. The link will be in the description below. We now have 5 members videos. We have the members Discord, which means if you're in there, you get access to the regular Discord. So I'll link the regular Discord in the description below for everybody, that everyone's in. There's thousands of people in there. But also, I had to get rid of Gilded because they made everyone get a Roblox account for some reason. But therecording.com/members is the official place to support me. You'll get 2 minimum members-only videos every single week, access to the private Discord, 20% off all coffee brand coffee orders, and much, much more. Please consider going over to therecording.com/members and supporting my work today. If you already support me somewhere else, move it on over because it's just much easier to manage a single spot. Kamala Harris is stumped by a question about crucial part of economic policy. She kept saying, like, multiple times during the interview, I have a plan. My plan is doing this. Donald Trump doesn't have a plan. I have a plan. My plan is great. But at no point does this woman actually utter anything that could be perceived anywhere, anyhow, as a plan. She literally answered a question about how will you fix inflation with, yeah, people charge too much for TP during the lockdowns. And paraphrasing, but what she actually said was actually worse. Vice President Kamala Harris gave a long pause during her interview on MSNBC when she faced an extremely simple question about how she would pay for economic plans, because the only real way she can pay for them is by raising taxes, okay? The moment came early in their interview where Harris battered away a slow-pitch question such as, can we trust you, and did you work at McDonald's? Interviewer Stephanie Rule asked Harris, who is giving her first network TV interview since securing the party's nomination. That's not true. Wasn't she on CNN? Anyway, how she would pay for economic plans. Quote, now follow me here. If you can't raise corporate taxes, or if the GOP takes control of the Senate, which they will, where will you get the money to do that? Her interviewer asked. After Harris outlined some of her plans like $6,000 credit for young couples, which she stole from Trump, or subsidies for new small businesses, Republicans stand a decent chance of taking the chamber from a narrow Democratic majority, with the Montana Democratic-held seat growing increasingly vulnerable. But we're going to have to raise corporate taxes, she said after a long pause. What does that mean? When you raise corporate taxes, do you think that just stays up and corporations are like, hey, we're going to make less money? No, it just rolls down to everyone else. And we're going to have to make sure to get the biggest corporations and, of course, those pesky billionaires to pay their fair share. That's just it. This is a pie in the sky Bernie Sanders, Democrats talking point. Billionaires and mega corporations, they'll just leave. They'll form their company over in some unincorporated island and they'll still do business in the United States. So let's talk about actual practical reasons, right? Or let's say you manage to raise taxes on Amazon. Do you think they're just going to make less money and make their shareholders unhappy? No, they're just going to pass that down to Americans. She neglected to say any details of her plan, which includes a new 25% minimum tax on people worth more than $100 million and capital gains hike, an increase in corporate tax to 28%. Again, where do you see, where does that money come from? Well, it comes from you. Rule herself said after the interview that she didn't answer the question where she's going to get the money from. She said, we just have to do it. And that it's great. And that it's a campaign promise, she added. The moment came after an interview where Harris blasted Trump for wanting to extend an array of 2017 tax cuts. Yeah, I sure hated $2 gasoline and mean tweets, right? Here you have, I tweeted, even MSNBC said Kamala Harris has no plan and flopped. Watch the life leave her eyes when the supposedly friendly reporter does not give a glowing review of Kamala Harris.
She doesn't answer the question around if the GOP is controlling the Senate, if she can't raise corporate taxes, where is she going to get the money from? To expand the child tax credit and do all the things she wants to do. And she says, we just have to do it. And that's great, and that's a campaign promise. But the issue is, if it means we're just going to borrow again, then what we're doing is we're just never addressing the deficit. And back in the days when you were a proud Republican, debts and deficits mattered. She doesn't answer the question around.
You see her smile go away? Watch it. It's like that Simpsons. You can see the exact moment when her heart breaks. Here's the smile. And then the second she's negative, watch her smile.
Doesn't answer the question around.
You can see the light leave her eyes. She's so sad. I mean, here, like, obviously she learned the word holistic for the first time ever. This is, now the question was, now I'm going to play the answer for you, but you're going to forget what the heck the question even was. So by the way, she's going to borrow more money, which is going to make inflation worse, and it's going to make your dollar worth less. That's what she was afraid to say. She also brought up price gouging and price controls, but she stopped short of calling it socialist, communist, Venezuela, this, that, and the other thing. Listen to this absolute brain dead idiot, okay? Answer the question on, now again, it's 1 minute of incredible word salad, and you're going to say, what question was she answering? I'm going to say, the interviewer asked, how are you going to fix inflation and high prices and cost of living? Okay. Here is presidential candidate Kamala Harris's answer.
Prices are still high.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You said you want to take this on by going after those who engage in price gouging.
Yeah.
But as somebody who supports free markets, who's a capitalist, how do you go after price gouging without implementing price controls? Because once we get in this zone, people start to get worried and they say, I don't know what she stands for.
So just to be very frank, I am never going to apologize for going after companies and corporations that take advantage of the desperation of the American people.
What?
And as Attorney General, I saw this happen. In the midst of an emergency, whether it be an extreme weather event or even the pandemic, we saw it, where those few companies, not the majority, not most, but those few companies that would take advantage of the desperation of people and jack up prices. Yeah, I'm going to go after them. Yes, I'm.
What? What? Literally what? What? How does that fix inflation? Because people charge too much for TP during the lockdowns?
I'm going to go after them. And that is part of a much more comprehensive plan on what we can do to bring the pandemic we
wait, here.
Of people and jack up prices. Yeah, I'm going to go after them. Yes, I'm going to go after them. And that is part of a much more comprehensive plan on what we can do to bring down the cost of living, including housing, including the everyday needs of the American people.
What? Because people charge too much money for TP during the lockdowns, you're going to go after them? What? This woman is like an early iteration of AI. She has no ability to answer any questions at all. She doesn't, it's like she doesn't even have the basic pieces of an automated answer available to her database. Here's another brutal moment that, again, everybody on MSNBC, which is, you know, I bet you all those MSNBC households out there are all real salty about this. And they say, well, MSNBC was a meanie weenie beanie to her. I have to assume. I don't know, but I would assume.
But not all unions have gotten behind you. I want to understand, when the Teamsters decided not to endorse you, what was their reasoning? What are they looking for?
Well, let me go back to our just previous conversation. I'm very proud to have the endorsement of the steelworkers and almost every other major union in America, because I stand by workers and I stand by the importance of being able to join a union and to understand the benefit and the value of unions.
What?
And I understand the importance of investing in new industries and working actively with the private sector to grow our economy.
But I'm asking because there's this idea we want something more from her. What is it?
Well, here's the thing.
She literally only can say, well, here's the thing. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. She's literally incapable of answering any questions. Even CNN fact-checked her. Of all people in the world, CNN fact-checked Kamala Harris several times last night after what can only be described as a disastrous fluff interview that couldn't have gone any worse. It literally couldn't have gone worse for the Kamala nominee. And I want more, baby. I want Kamala doing more interviews. I can't wait for her town hall, which is in a couple of weeks. I suspect she will not do another interview until the town hall. And the town hall, when she goes up there and serves up this word salad to the American people again, it's not going to fly. It's also not going to fly. And I just simply cannot wait. I simply cannot wait for the Kamala nominee to come crashing down. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe or follow down below. Make sure you support our work. If you find, it's a team of many people, me, Melanie, Stick Sexenhammer, 2 video editors, graphic designer, full team, extra value over on thequartering.com/members. Please consider joining today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.